Okay, today we're going to take a look at evaluating piecewise functions by using their graphs. So the plan is to show you some examples and then we got to review domain and range. So a piecewise function is basically a combination of different functions. So for example, the graph can look something like this. It's a combination of two things, or maybe something like that. It can be a combination of three things. So there's nothing special about the graphs. They're gonna basically we're gonna be able to do everything that we've been able to do with just simple graphs like lines or parabolas, etc. So let's take a look at how to evaluate functions using their graphs. So here, the values, the ones that are in white, those are the x values, because for these graphs, the inputs are always going to be x values. So let's begin by evaluating f of -3. So now we have to look at the x-axis and we have to find -3. So we take a look and we see that -3 is right here. So now we have to point towards the graph. We have to kind of imagine that the graph is kind of like a magnet and it's attracting the -3. So -3 is gonna again point towards the graph here, and you can see that the value at -3 is going to be -2. So f of -3 is going to be -2. Alright, let's try to evaluate f of 0 now. So if we look at the x-axis, 0 is going to be here at the origin, and now my graph is right here at this value. So here we're going to go up to +3. So f of 0 is going to be +3. Now let's evaluate f of 3. So again, we have to start on the x-axis and we got to look for 3. 3 is right there. And now we have to go towards the graph here. So the graph is telling us that the value, the y value, is going to be at +2. Alright, let's do f of 1. So f of 1, we gotta look for 1 now, and 1 is right there. So actually, I don't want to do 1. Let's cancel that one. Let's just do f of 6. So f of 6, we're gonna take a look. It's right there, and then f of 6 is this point at a +1. So at 6, my y value is +1. And that's how you would evaluate a function using a graph. So let's take a look at this one now. So here, let's evaluate this function, f of x, at the point -5. So we're going to look for -5, and -5 is right here. So again, let's think about f of x being a magnet, and -5 is getting attracted to that magnet. So you can see that the value at -5 is going to be +7. Alright, let's try to evaluate f of 0. And remember that 0 is here at the origin. So here, let me just identify it here. So f of 0, again, it's getting attracted to this yellow graph. And the value is here at +6. So f of 0 is +6. Now let's try to evaluate f of 4. So we look for 4 right here. So f of 4 goes to the graph at this point, and the y value that corresponds to that point is +3. Let's do this last one, f of 6. So f of 6 is, well, 6 is right here, and we can see that it hits the graph here at this point, and the y value that corresponds to that x value is 1. And that's pretty much it. Alright, practice the following examples.